Well, hey guys, it's another great week out here. Check that out. Fresh deer tracks. Looks like this morning. Maybe just a little bit ago. Anyway, yeah, it's been another great week out here. I will say it has been extremely cold. So we had definitely put the boiler to the test this week. It was negative, I think we had lows of negative 10 to 15 degrees Fahrenheit, with the wind chill being negative 30, 40. It was crazy. It was definitely cold. So the wood boiler definitely got put to the test this week. But it's winter time. It has been super cold. It's not, it's above, might get above freezing today. I mean, it's foggy out here, which is kind of crazy for the winter, but it's nice. I mean, it's nice to have these days during the winter. However, I have been busy. I have been cutting wood, splitting wood, feeding that wood boiler. It's been a busy winter thus far. We haven't had a whole lot of snow, but I mean, it's still been busy. I was unprepared with the wood, so that takes up a lot of my time, and I'm sure you guys don't want to see me splitting wood every video. I mean, it would be the same video every single time. So I'm trying something a little different this week. What I would like to do is talk to everybody about something that's kind of very near and dear to me. I mean, you should always feel safe in your own home, always, forever. So what I'd like to talk about is home security, maybe / home defense for an off-grid homestead. Now, a lot of this will translate into a normal home, I guess, if you want to say that, but I don't see any off-grid home defense, home security, and I think there's a lot to be learned. I mean, I've learned a lot. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that you kind of have to take into effect or into consideration because you're off-grid, right? So, but there's a lot of bonuses to being off-grid as well. So we'll see. I want to get this out there. So I hope you guys enjoy this episode or this video. Give it a like, comment, subscribe, enjoy the video, and if you want to see something else, if you want to talk about something else, there's a lot of stuff, just a ton of stuff. But I think home security, home defense, especially for an off-grid homestead, is something you just don't see very often, and I think it may help some folks. And if it doesn't, well, you just wasted 20 minutes of your life. Sorry. But enjoy the video. Have a great day. Peace. Something like this. Boom. Okay, folks. So, first off, I want to say happy holidays to everybody that's watching, to all my family. What a great time of year. I absolutely love this time of year. But I want to make sure that I say happy holidays to y'all. Thank you for everything that you do, especially our military. At these times of the year, it's a little rough. They're probably gone. If you're not at home, God bless. Take care of yourselves out there. Miss y'all. So today, I got some notes over here. Just want to make sure I don't lose anything in the fray, I guess. I'm going to talk about home security and a little bit of home defense for the off-grid homesteader. And I think reason this is important, we see a lot of home defense stuff, we do, and we see a lot of home security for normal folks. But for the off-gridder, where we are conserving our electricity, and Lulu, you are a psycho. But we have to conserve our power to the umpth degree, especially in the wintertime. Summertime is usually not too bad, but then again, we can't have all the great security systems that a normal person can have that's on the grid, because they have a endless supply of electricity. Now that endless supply does cost extra money, but you could use it if you needed to, whereas the off-grid homesteader has a little bit harder time. So a lot of our stuff is not as great. Some is great. I mean, if you want to throw the money into it. But I'm going to get into definitely some home security, definitely some home defense, some things that we can do to protect ourselves. And I do believe it's just you should feel safe in your own home at all times, always, from interior to exterior, depending on the circumstances. So home security, what is home security? Home security is the detection of something that could affect you, right? Inadvertently become a problem. So how I look at it is a cone of awareness, right? Home security. And the first line of defense, I guess, would be your local news, right? Now I watch local news. I watch local news for weather. I watch local news for them little nuggets of stuff that's happening around your community, whether it is in your county or in your region of where you live, right? And that could be something as home break-ins, car break-ins, thefts, any type of robbery, something to that extent. So I keep my eyes peeled for that on the news. There's little nuggets to get you aware, right? Next, I would say get a neighborhood app, some type of Nextdoor app, the Ring app. Now you're gonna have to deal with a lot of Karens on there, people complaining about speeding, different things, right? You're gonna have to deal with that. But there are them nuggets in there that you will see if you have a problem in your neighborhood. Now we're generalizing a little bit down from the local news, where you're regional, down to your neighborhood. So I think it's very important to get on a Ring app or the Nextdoor app. There's a lot of apps out there that you can use to find out what's going on in your neighborhood. And it just brings a little bit more awareness of what's happening. If there's some bad stuff happening in your neighborhood, you want to know it. Networking, make sure you know your neighbors, talk to your neighbors, that type of thing is a great avenue to figure out if there's anything going awry around your property, around your land. And then just, surveilling your land. That may be walking around the roads, walking around in your fields, in your woods, whatever that may be. Just know what's going on around you. And I'm not saying you have to do this every single day, but I like to take walks. I love to walk around and see what's happening around me. And sometimes I extend that a little bit. I take a four-wheeler ride down the road, around the area a little bit. And one, it's fun. It's good exercise. It's fun to take the four-wheeler out, take it for a ride. And it's great to see what's happening around you. So you have a good bit of awareness. Then it leads me into motion sensors. You want to know what's happening closer to you if something immediately hits you, like driveway sensors. I have sensors around my solar panels. Now all of these sensors are solar, so they're solar operated, which could lead to, if we don't have a lot of sun, could lead to failure, right? However, I don't think I've dealt with any of that. So if somebody pulls in my driveway, I immediately know. And I don't have a great system. It's probably, I don't think I spend more than $50 on this system. And it's great. If somebody's coming down my driveway, if somebody's around outside by the panels, immediately I know something's coming in. And all of this is a little alarm inside the house that just goes, whatever sound. It has like 50 different sounds you can make. It has bells, whatever, and you just determine which one is better for you. As long as you can distinctly tell which one is going off, make sure you have a different time for your driveway and maybe a different time for the driveway across the way. So definitely motion sensors are definitely something that is really close to home, something that is, if something is coming, bam, I know somebody's here. Now animals do trip it off, and I do have to get up and go look to see what's happening. And I have a spotlight, boom, which leads me into my next topic, is lighting, right? So a dusk to dawn light, motion lights, just enough to make sure that you can see what's going on out there without having to open the door, right? Now the spotlight, you do have to open the door most of the time, not always. I mean, the first thing I do is I shine that light right out the window to see what's going on. Is that the safest thing? Probably not, but I want to know what's going on. If somebody's out in the yard, I need to be able to see it. So the dusk to dawn light is definitely a must for me. And once again, all these lights are solar powered. Some of the lights don't exactly get the most sun, but the motion sensor lights seem to work really well as long as there's not a lot of motion. If you got a continuous amount of motion where that light is on constantly, you may lose the lighting. My dusk to dawn light is high enough where it reaches the sun pretty much all year round. I haven't had any issues with that. But again, when I wake up in the morning, it's not the brightest. It is losing its electricity. Now I bought, that one was pretty expensive. I bought that one, I would say probably close to $200 for that solar light. But I think it's very important. That one's the one that shines constantly. I can see everything that's going on in my front yard. Also, I have security cameras. Now security cameras are pretty awesome nowadays. Even the game cameras, where the game cameras, you could install your game cameras that are attached to a cell phone network. You could actually bring it right into your phone, so you can get notifications on your phone and say, hey, something's out there. You can see what's out there immediately. Now them are pretty pricey. I haven't really bought into that, but my neighbor has, and my neighbor has numerous of them out there, and he loves them, I'm sure, because anything that happens on his property, he immediately is notified, and boom, he gets a picture on his phone, he sees what's going on out there. And anyway, so yeah, so he has them cameras. They're attached to a cell phone network. Now it depends on where you're living. Of course, most off-grid homesteaders live out in the middle of nowhere. However, our cell grid is getting better by the day. It may be not in your area exactly yet, but it will be. It's coming. I mean, I think it's a way of life right now where your pocket computer is something that most people can't live without. So that's another great option. I do have security cameras. They are solar powered, and I have had zero issues with my cameras. They constantly work, and I'm getting notified. It's mainly me walking back and forth between the wood boiler and here, but I get notified immediately of, hey, somebody's walking around out there, or it could be an animal. Most of the time it's not, it's me, or it's somebody pulled in the driveway, and it's immediately notified. What's great about that is I don't need to be here, and I'll still be notified as long as I have a cell connection somewhere. If I'm out in the middle of the woods, it may not get to me, but when I get back, I will be able to see anybody that was out here, which is super nice. I've used it numerous times where somebody's pulled in the driveway and I was not around, but yet I was able to talk to them via the camera and say, hey, what's up? What do you need? I'm not around. I'll be back in 20 minutes, whatever it is. My game cameras catch things all the time. I've seen people drive up on the road, stop, spotlight my house, and then drive past. So there's just a lot of stuff that you can use for home security to keep you aware of what's going on around your property at all times. And I think that's very important because of the society we live in. We all know there's bad folks out there, and them bad folks are gonna do bad things. I'm hoping it's not anybody. I wish it would never happen to anybody, but it does. So please make sure that you're aware. Keep aware of your surroundings and use that cone of awareness. Your cone of awareness could be completely different than mine, depending on where you live, how far off the road your house is. Just depends. Now these motion sensors, they reach up to like 500 feet away from your home, so they can go fairly far. I use mine at the end of the driveway, so I definitely know if somebody's rolling in here right away, and then my camera picks them up immediately. So my cone of awareness, like I said, that's basically how I do it. Local news. You could use social media even, if you have Facebook, or I think it's Facebook groups maybe for your neighborhood. Social media is a great thing to do, but once again, you're gonna have to run through the Karens, and there's gonna be people that are just complaining about, just to complain, I guess. But like I said, there are nuggets in there that are like, wow, look at that. It's able to keep you aware of what's happening in your neighborhoods. And then of course, once you get closer to home, the motion sensors, cameras, and then I think locking your doors, that's part of your home security. Make sure your doors are locked, make sure your windows are locked, what kind of windows you have, what kind of doors you have, all that jazz, to that extent, but keep you safe inside your home. Let me see if I caught everything. Oh, one more thing that you could use, that's been suggested to me numerous times, is gates. Put gates up at the end of your driveways. I do have a gate at the end of my driveway. I just don't use it very often. It's not something that most of the time I'm here, and I'm not good. It's just a chain gate, and you can throw a chain across it. I'm here 90% of the time, and then if I'm not here, I do have family that's really close that's able to come in and check the property, and they're well aware of all the cameras that we have. So I also have a interior camera for when I do leave, and my family also has access to that. So if I'm not around, they're able to check it just as much as I'm able to check it, just to see what's going on, if something's happened around the homestead. So that's great to have. Not that you have to have it. I know a lot of people are a little bit weary of cameras and them being hacked and all that jazz, but the next logical step is home defense, right? Home defense is something that's going to be different for everybody depending on the state you live in, and I say that with a grain of salt. However, the law is the law, and to protect yourself, you need to know the law for your particular state. The castle law is something that protects you as a homeowner for somebody who's breaking into your house. So please take the time to look up that law, because I think that's the biggest mistake a lot of people make, is they don't know the law prior to something happening. It takes 5 to 10 minutes to do a little search on what your state law is, so you're able to protect yourself. There are some states that require you to flee. There are some states that don't, that you can use deadly force if need be to protect you and your family. So please look up the law before something happens. So the plan for home defense is going to be different for everybody, but there's some key concepts that have to be followed to make sure that you and your family are safe, right? So what is home defense, right? Home defense is protecting your occupied residence from a threat, meaning you or your family members and your loved ones must be inside the residence at the time. So you can't be out at the grocery store and say, hey, this is home defense. No, you have to be inside your residence for it to be home defense. If you're outside, you're protecting yourself or your family, that's self-defense, right? It's completely different. So home defense has a few things that I want to go over, right? So I think the main thing is the planning. Planning for somebody entering your home unlawfully, willingly entering your home unlawfully. Basically, they're breaking into your house, right? So I think the first thing, the first step of the plan is, if somebody's breaking into your house, dial 911. Grab your phone, dial 911. Me, I'm throwing the phone off to the side, kicking it down, whatever, kicking it across the floor. One, I'm not answering questions while somebody's breaking into my house. I have other things to think about, right? So I'm not going to be answering questions. I may be talking while somebody's breaking into the house. I'll give my address, I'll let them know what's happening, but I'm not going to answer questions, not while I'm on the phone. I'm going to give a good description of the individuals if I can. Once again, lighting is key. But description of the individuals, how many individuals, where I live, what's happening at the time, right? And I'm going to continue to do that, but I'm not going to answer any of their questions. All that jazz. You should know what you're going to say right away. Practice that. The next thing, you want to know like where your blind spots are. So what windows you can see out of, where they're coming in, where they're going to be coming in. It may be a window, it may be the front door, whatever. You need to make sure that you know where your blind spots are, because the last thing you want to do is not know what's happening outside your home, right? You want to have a point of contact, right? There's going to be some point in your home where you're going to contact the individuals that are entering. You want to set that point. You don't want them to set that point. You want that point to be yours. And the point of contact is got to be, you got to think about this. Point of contact has to be a place where, one, if they shoot at you, God forbid, but if they do shoot at you, that if they miss you, that it's not going to go through the wall behind you and strike a family member. So be very aware of where you want your point of contact to be, is to protect your family members that are in the home as well. I think that's very important. I think a lot of people don't think about that point of contact. One, I'm going to set that point of contact. Two, I want to make sure that if something does happen, something goes really wrong, really fast, that my family's not going to be in danger because of where I set my point of contact. Two, once that point of contact, it does go awry quickly and these individuals are firing weapons at you, you need to have a fallback zone. Where are you going to fall back to if that happens, where you have not a clear line of sight at the individuals at that time, but if they continue into your home, where you're going to be at. Three, you need to have an escape plan, right? And this escape plan, I think it could go for fires, it could go numerous ways, but as for home defense, if an individual is coming in the front door, where are you going out? Where is your family going to get out at? If it does go bad and you need to get out of your home, where are you going to go? Which leads me into the blind spots part, due to the fact that the last thing you want to do is get out your escape plan and go out the back door, for instance, and there's two individuals standing back there, right? So know that you have blind spots, and know that before you exit your home, you validate that them blind spots have no individuals in there or out there. So just keep an eye out for blind spots, have an escape plan if need be. The main thing to make all this happen seamlessly is to remain calm. And I want to say that's probably one of the hardest things to do during a home invasion, is to remain calm. The adrenaline that's purely pumping through your body because somebody's breaking in your house is probably something that's ungodly. And to remain calm in that situation is tough. It's tough. It's hard to do. You can only try. Try your best to remain calm. Make sure you're thinking clearly. Make sure you have your other family members in your mind. Where are they at? What are they doing? And if you have to exit the home, make sure you or your family members are very well aware of how to get out, where your blind spots are at. Make sure that they validate that there's nobody out there waiting for them. And then exit the home. Get in a vehicle, whatever it is. And there's so much more to that, where you could stash keys for your vehicles so you're able to get into a vehicle and leave. Off-grid homesteaders, you're far away. I mean, most of us are extremely far away from anybody, right? It's not like we're gonna run to our neighbor's house. For me, I think my neighbor's house would be probably more than a mile away. Lulu, are you a psycho? Yes. So, could I get there? Sure. Is that the thing that I really want to do? Probably not. I'm probably going to run off into the woods. I'm probably going to set up a safe zone somewhere where I can see my home and I can see the individuals that are invading, leave, whatever. Now, there's types of weapons that you can use for home defense. There's lethal and then there's non-lethal, right? Non-lethal could be anything from a taser. That's your pretty close contact if you're using a taser. There's bear spray. That's something that's fairly accessible, very easy to get. I think you sell it at every sports store in America, so you can grab some bear spray. Now, bear spray, spraying it inside your house, I would suggest that when you do spray, it's something as you're exiting, because that bear spray is going to spread. You're going to hit somebody, and it's going to spread out, and it could possibly affect you. So be very careful of using bear spray in the very beginning if you're not going to exit that area. So it'd be something if I was in my point of contact and I was going to fall back to my safe zone or a fallback zone where I would spray and then move back. Hopefully that would deter them to get out of your house, and then the threat has been alleviated, if you will. There's rubber bullets, there's beanbag bullets, there's all kinds of different things where you can use rock salt for shotguns, whatever. But there's a lot of stuff that you could use as non-lethals, and I'll tell you, if you get hit by a rubber bullet or a beanbag, people that are entering your home are not wearing body armor. They're not. They're gonna get hurt. They're gonna know it, and they're gonna think they've been shot, and they're gonna leave. So that's definitely a plus in that aspect, is to get them out of there. If you do have a 2-story home, I guess would be, you could use climbing spikes. That would be something that would be there year round. Something that wouldn't allow somebody to get up onto the second floor and enter your home in that on the second floor. So you could use that. This all deterrence, stuff like that. You could use a baseball bat, a club, whatever. Like I said, that's close combat. It's already closer than I would like it to be. And then of course there's your lethals, right? You could use any type of gun, blades. There's all kinds of different lethal weapons that you could use. Once again, knife. It's still a little more close knit or close quarters than I would like it to be. When you get into the lethal part of home defense, that's where you need to know law, right? Because if you're using lethal means, there's a good possibility that that person that you shoot is going to die. So be very aware of your law. Know what your law is. The castle law in most states allows you to use lethal means if you fear for your life. Now, there's always stipulations underneath that law for all kinds of different states. Lulu, please stop. So know your laws, know what them stipulations are. If you have a castle law, or if you have a law that requires you to flee your home, just know the law. Look it up. It takes 10 minutes to validate what law you have and what you're allowed to do in your home. One of the most important aspects of home security, home defense, is a medical kit. The medical kit is probably the only thing in home security and home defense that's actually going to save your life if anything happens to you. The medical kit is the means of saving your life if anything went awry. And it could be something that you weren't very calm, and maybe you slipped, maybe you fell, maybe worst case scenario, you've been shot. Alright, so the medical kit is there to save your life. Most of us off-grid homesteaders don't live near medical facilities. So even dialing 911, maybe they heard gunshots, they're going to send an ambulance. Most off-grid homesteaders live out there, right? Just like me, I live out at least 45 minutes from the hospital, and that's if you're flying. All right, so most time the ambulance is going to be moving, so 45 minutes to the nearest hospital, not great. I think even if they were to call the nearest fire department, it's still going to take them a minimum of 20 minutes to get to me once they know something's happened. 2, it's going to take them another 45 minutes to get to the hospital. Now, they do have the medical supplies to keep you alive, hopefully, to get to the hospital, but that's not a guarantee. So please make sure that your medical kit is up to par, it's current. And I want to say probably the most important thing that a medical kit probably doesn't have is a tourniquet. If you've been shot in the leg, in the arm, anywhere that you can install a tourniquet to save your life because you're bleeding out, it's a must. It's something that's probably the most important thing that you can have in your medical kit. And they sell them on Amazon fairly cheap. If you do have family members, they sell tourniquets for younger children, for pets. So make sure you get the right tourniquet. I know the military tourniquet is the cat tourniquet. That tourniquet is made for adults. It's not made for children. So if for some odd reason, and this is God, I couldn't imagine my child being hit by gunfire, but to save their life, a tourniquet that's made for children and made for pets is something that's worth the money to spend on. So they do sell them also on Amazon. Just make sure you know what you're buying. Any tourniquet's better than no tourniquet, but like I said, just make sure that you do the research, you buy the one that's right for your family, for your situation, whatever that may be. That gets through most of home defense, home security. I wish this would never happen to anybody. I wish it would, because it's a bad situation to be in for anybody. But having the right plan, having the plan that works for you, for your family, for the off-grid homestead, being out far away from everything with a limited amount of electricity that you gain through sun power, wind power, whatever that is. It's hard for the off-grid homesteader, I'm not gonna lie. I've tried a lot of different things out here to be safe, secure, and it works for me. So just find out what works for you, and yeah, have a great homestead. Have something that you can feel safe. Y'all have a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and be safe out there. So hey guys, I know this was a different type of video than we're normally used to, but like I said, it's winter time. It's not a massive amount of stuff that I can do out here besides cut wood, keep that wood boiler going, which it's not going right now. It's just too hot in the house. What a nice problem to have. I did the same thing yesterday. I didn't start the wood boiler till almost 7 o'clock last night before the Packer game, but yeah, it's nice. It's still 75 in the house right now. There's been no fire since last night. That's crazy, but I'll get one started later today once she starts to cool down a little bit. It's just been, you see the snow is melting. It's just been so nice out. I think today is still 35, something like that. It's crazy. It's gonna get cooler, but yeah. So like I said, this is something that's, I don't know, it's important to me, and if it helps even just one person out there, I mean, I feel good. So plan. Just be ready. Not that it'll ever happen, but the more planning you do and the more ready you are for a situation, the more calm you can be in that situation. So anyway, like I said, have a happy holidays, a very great new year, and yeah, enjoy the time while you have it. See you next week. This is Dan. This is the Northwoods Dream. Peace.
Northwoods Dream.